Hey friends, so marking 25 years I've been playing games. I'm going to be playing my favorite game of all time. Well, I already played it, but I'm going to be doing commentary over it. Those are not my hands that you see in the keyboard down there. These are my hands right here. Anyway, August 16th, 2021 marks 25 years that I've played games. 25 years before that, August 16th, 1996, was my brother Mitchell's 8th birthday, and he got a game called Earthworm Jim Special Edition. Um, we didn't play video games before that. We would play outside and stuff, and we did afterward as well. But it was something that just it struck us, monumentally. And so this game has just really stuck with me. And over the years, we played a lot of different games. Played a bunch of games competitively, and we really bonded over games. And then in 2016, I lost my brother, and that's been a very hard thing to deal with. But in honor of him and in memory of him, one of our favorite games, and it is my favorite game, I'm doing this new world record speed run for that game, that same game, all the way back from 25 years ago. So I already did the run here, but I'm going to be doing commentary over it. So I'll just go ahead and start it here. And I'll have the timer here going too. Alright. So even though I missed like the second jump in the whole game, this is an imperfect run. Like the flaws are very obvious, kind of like life. But I still think it's awesome. And it's a beautiful game, so at the very least, enjoy the wackiness of Earthworm Jim. I'll give a little bit of commentary along the way about the technical play, but for the most part, I'm going to be enjoying it too. So obviously, the game is very classy. We take a little shortcut here, jumping into the toilet. And even though I missed one of the jumps there, we're going to another toilet real quick. It is a speedrun after all. So this part of first level, New Junk City, is only present in the Special Edition version of Earthworm Jim. So there's quite a bit more length to Special Edition than regular Earthworm Jim. So this is not, if you're trying to compare minute times and second times to other versions of Earthworm Jim, you got to keep track of which versions have which levels and which extensions of levels. So this version, the Windows 95 version that we originally got when Mitchell turned 8, is almost identical to Sega CD, but not quite. I mean, it's some really tiny details, but when you've had the interest in Earthworm Jim that I've had, it seems obvious, but it's really not, to be honest with you. So this guy's name is Chuck, as you can see. And he literally just throws up fish. But just finished that level there. And as you can see, those are not my hands. These are my hands here. Those are my hands when I did the run before. So now we're going to the first Anti-Asteroids level. And for those of you that know me, as a game developer, maybe Signal to Noise was a little bit based off of these levels. Maybe, just subconsciously, it may be. Signal to Noise, if you don't know, is the game that I made in my company, Solanimus. So Solanimus is the company I founded in 2011, and obviously I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for Mitchell, that got me into games with this game, and plenty of games after that. I mean, that first day when Mitchell got this game, I didn't even want to play. Like, I wasn't interested. I had no idea. And wow, because he didn't know how to play either. So we were trying to work together to figure out how to even play the game. I remember when we first tried, because we were playing with a keyboard, which is why I still play with a keyboard this game. We didn't know what any of the buttons did. Like, I mean, we barely even got past that second jump that I missed just then. That second jump in the game, I mean, we were struggling with that. We just had no concept of these games, you know? So, okay, now we're at What the Heck. So, Anti-Asteroids is pretty short. And that's literally the level of the name of the level is What the Heck. Obviously, you're in Heck, and in the background there, you can see that little dancing cat. His name is Evil. That's actually his name. It's Evil the Cat. What a beautiful game. So, I'm skipping some pieces of the level here, just with a regular jump, and this was intended. But this next part is kind of a funky sort of skip, where I bounce off the top of these spikes and skip quite a bit more of the level. Yeah, so that was quite a bit of the level, and I'm just jumping through here. So keep in mind with Earthworm Jim, there's a lot of damage boosting that you do, so like you get hurt in order to save time, and then just make sure you don't lose so much percent that you lose a life, because obviously that wastes a lot of time. And here I am already at the final boss for What the Heck, which is Evil the Cat right there. So he stole my suit, as you can see, just like the suit was taken away in the slides section of New Junk City. But this part here, there's a little bit of randomness, RNG, where Evil the Cat may even just sit there and just clean himself, you know, for like 10 licks, and it's not much you can do about it. You just wait through it. It doesn't, even if it's not the best RNG, it doesn't lose that much time, you know. And besides, this is not perfect run. It's just going to be the new record now for Special Edition. So obviously, with Evil, you have to kill him 9 times because he's a cat. You know, with 9 lives, apparently. And then you just dodge those little fire things. I think one of these I have my old man reflexes and miss it, but yeah, that one there. So it's fine. It's still the new record. And you're gonna see some pretty awesome tricks in here too. I made a few little discoveries, but I think it's overall decent performance, if I say so myself. So, okay, so here is Big Brody. That's with an R, and this level is unique for Special Edition. Here's a very weird-looking skip. It is not apparent from the level design, but still saves a lot of time. So obviously, you gotta do it. And up, you gotta get rid of these bees. But up here is a can sometimes be a kind of frustrating skip. Right there, that is a very tight window to jump over Brody there. Very tight window. And if you miss, he literally eats you just right then and there, so you lose a lot of time. So you kind of have to lure him a little bit. Clear him out of the way there. So you may notice that I do a lot of like shots and then immediately jump, or whip and immediately jump, or jump and then immediately whip. That's because there's a lot of animation canceling in Earthworm Jim. So, and same for the damage boosting I was talking about before. When you get hurt, a lot of the time you can just jump out of it, and so it doesn't actually lose you any time. Like even when you get hurt by an enemy. So I'm doing that little skip there. Well, that wasn't so good. Like I said, the flaws are obvious, but this is still a new record. Alright, so we're here at the end of Big Brody already. Getting him out of the way there. Alright. And we're off to another Anti-Asteroids. So, you notice there's the little bubbles that go by. So there's the little, the kind of holographic bubble that I just got there. That's a shield, and those are helpful. You just want to beat Psycrow here through the race. Knock him into the asteroids is helpful, but I don't get many of the regular bubbles. In fact, I avoid them on purpose, because if you get enough of them in each level, you get to continue, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But the problem with that in a speedrun, is that there's a little animation that plays if you get a continue, and that wastes time, obviously. It's not a ton of time, but I don't need the continue anyway, so it's not a good use of time, so you just skip it. So you just don't collect the bubbles. Anyway, so Signal to Noise, the game that may have been subconsciously inspired somewhat by Anti-Asteroids. It's a real-time music-driven rail shooter. First came out in 2015, just before I lost my brother. But it's the only, real-time music-driven game that exists right now. And I'll talk about it a little bit more in the Anti-Asteroids levels. But next up we have Down the Tubes, that I sometimes call Tubeville. And this level kind of stopped a lot of people in their tracks with this game, because of the little bathysphere part. So these cats here, you can sort of tell they're cats with the tails, but his name is Number 4. And the reason his name is Number 4 is because he's a servant to Bob the Goldfish, who is the boss of this world here. And Bob is literally just a goldfish in a bowl, but according to the new graphic novels by Earthworm Jim, it says a little bit more about what he can do to control the cat's minds. But anyway, so Number 4, it's called Number 4 because numbers 1, 2, and 3 died. So that's why. That's it. I'm doing a little bit of damage boosting, but not completely. I'm trying to save a little bit of health here, just to be able to conserve health through this route. Don't need a lot, but okay. So here, this part was a little bit hairy. It's not always so tight in terms of the timing. They give you 30 seconds here, and you can get these little extra parts to fill up the air, because that counter is how much air Jim has in the little bathysphere. So obviously he's underwater. He can't breathe underwater. He's a worm, not a fish. So although you'd think the super suit would have something like that. Anyway, so obviously it's a very tight window here that I make here in the bathysphere. I do make it, but 1 second. So all right. So there. That is not Bob, but he's orange anyway. So I get a little bit of hurt there. Get the percentage back there. There you go. See the cow going by from the first level that we launched with the fridge. And here is the second Tubeville. And thankfully in Special Edition, this part definitely frustrated some kids. Special Edition, thankfully, you can just skip this. The whole really long bathysphere part and go to a bonus Anti-Asteroids. And this bonus Anti-Asteroids is it's pretty fast, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. It's just boosts and shields and bubbles, but I still have to avoid the bubbles. So in some ways, this one is like I have to pay more attention than I do even in the first two. So the later ones, there's so many like difficult combinations of asteroids that I do have to pay attention, but see, it's done. It's done so quick, way faster than Tube Race, that's for sure. So up next is the It's Not a Problem section. So that guy is his name is literally Major Mucus, and the little combo to win in one cycle is pretty tight window, so I missed that one there, but it only takes me one more cycle here, I think, or the top of this cycle anyway. Yeah. So Major Mucus and Jim are fighting each other on bungee cords on a planet made of snot. So it's great. All right, so I did one cycle there for round 2, and then round 3 here isn't as great. Yeah. Yep. Still record, guys. Yeah, I'm just having a day there. Anyway, yeah, this game is so wacky, like, just great. I used to just talk about this. Well, I still talk about it quite a bit, to be honest with you. I used to talk about this all the time, like with my friends, with my family. People used to say, like, if you don't know what Earthworm Jim is, you probably haven't talked with David before. And I don't know, I just love Earthworm Jim, man. And now I think as a game developer, I think in a lot of ways it's had an effect. Not just the fact that I make games now, because I do attribute that to Mitchell and Earthworm Jim, but in terms of like my taste in games as well. Because I mean, Earthworm Jim's a weird game, man. A weird game. But there's just so much, like, all the situations in the levels, they're not complicated situations on their own. They're very, very minimalist, almost arcadey in a way, but there's so many different things to this universe, you know, to the Earthworm Jim universe. It's just so fascinating. Super quirk. But there's some interesting weaving there. Kind of signal to noise, if you ask me. Yeah, started Solanimus 2011. Doing signal to noise again. I was on medical leave from school, so I never finished school, but it's fine. And I made a game called Colby in Search of Floyd, about 2 cats we had in real life, and did it all as a personal challenge for myself at the time. You know, I wanted to learn how to make games. I knew how to program some things, but I didn't know how to program games, and so I wanted to learn that on my own on the way, and made my own engine in a language I didn't even know yet. I learned it along the way, C#, and made the engine for Colby, released the game multi-platform. It was definitely a learning experience. Then I did Crashland with my dad, John. He's a graphic artist, graphic designer, and we did that game together. And in Colby, I did every aspect by myself actually, but I didn't do so hot with the with the graphics, so I needed help for that. But I did all the music and everything. Like, as some of you guys may know, I'm a Scottish fiddler. Write a lot of music, play a lot of music. So this is level 5. I'm no big mathematician here, but I don't think this is the 5th level. But that's the name of the level, is level 5. The boss that you saw maybe in the whatever 5 frames of animation ahead at the beginning to announce the level, his name is Professor Monkey for a Head, because he's a professor and he has a monkey for a head. So, I mean, it fits right in. So Jim's doing a little dance here. Obviously that's me with the keyboard, but it's just the coolest music. Shoutouts to Tommy Tallarico. This amazing music. Who knows how much I've listened to this soundtrack, man. Who knows? But yeah, so Colby, Crashland. There's some other small games too, but Signal to Noise, really, that's just such a cool game. We botched the launch horribly, like, I'll admit. It was disappointing. Not even just for the players, it was disappointing for us too, but you know, tried to do what we could. We did, you know, there's still no other real-time music-driven game that you can use live music, hook up to a concert with. It affects all the music, all the aspects of the gameplay. You can use any music, you know, even this music, which I've done many, many times. But anyway, still more in the pipeline from Solanimus. Oh, and the game is way better now than it launched. So if you saw it at launch and weren't happy, give it a shot. There's even a kind of almost a demo version, I guess you could call it. Just one song, Danimal Cannon's Axis. You can play Signal to Noise Tournament Edition is what it's called. You know, it's just that one song. But normally you can use any of your own music. You can use live music. Like I said, we've played it at concerts before. You can use, you know, YouTube, Spotify, however you like to do it. Or just talk to your computer, which is one of the things we did during testing. But yeah. So, still going through level 5. Still losing my suit here, my super suit. This part isn't that big a deal. Some somewhat precise windows, but not really. Mainly, there's quite a bit of room until the suit gets to you. So here I can kind of jump back a little bit, grab the suit early, and then just run for it. So at this point, I've got 62% now, and I can usually get through this with even less than I have actually right now, even less than 52. There's just some little jumping combinations here, get through quick, and a little bit more damage boosting here. There's plenty of percent to work with. Alright. So, level 5 is a very long level. In terms of time, it's the longest level in the run. I don't need that percent there. There's Professor Monkey for a head. Same one before. Skipping past him. With these things closed. So that's another thing about the animation canceling. The whip, if you try to jump immediately when you whip, the whip doesn't go all the way through and do the damage. So you have to delay that slightly if you're going to jump, cancel that. Jump cancel. Melee! Alright. So almost here at the Robot Chicken fight. And yes, that's Robot Chicken. Not the same as the show. But this is a different Robot Chicken. If I remember right, I missed the little cycle here, but it's alright. It's alright. Still world record time. Y'all gotta step up your game with this game. Alright. Alright, just with the targets, and then you start doing the falling section. This is the coolest song in the whole game. You'll hear it later in the last level, but sorry, spoiler. But anyway, this is speedrun, whatever. So anyway, there's a little bit of interesting thing here with those bombs that he drops. So there's supposed to be a counter of 20 damage on this guy, and so you can only get 1 damage at a time if you're doing just the shots. But with the bombs, you can add on even more damage than you would get with just the shots. So what I try to do here, until I got to really low health, what I try to do is I try to get the bomb as close as I can to where he's going next, chasing after me. That way the bomb explodes on him, and it speeds up the fight a little bit. So back to Anti-Asteroids here. Beat Robot Chicken through level 5, the longest level in the run. So after this Anti-Asteroids, we go to For Pete's Sake. That's where Peter Puppy, Jim's trusty sidekick, which I don't really know why he's a sidekick. I guess we'll learn more as the graphic novels progress. But anyway, Peter Puppy, he's slow, I'll put it that way, like in terms of his walking in this level. So the only way to get through this level particularly fast is to do a despawn trick where Peter literally just disappears. So the way you do that is, unfortunately, frame perfect. And so this game runs at it's about 60 frames per second. And if you miss it, then, well, I have a little technique here that I show, because I have to do it, where I can retry. But if you miss it after that, and you don't have another continue, it ends the run. You can't go through it again. So, but I'll show you the timing here. That little whip thing right there, it has to be down to the frame. And unfortunately, and I've done frame-by-frame recordings of myself here to try to find the exact timing, a visual cue for it. There is no visual cue in the PC version. So that the part of the whip animation, the whip little spark at the end, it varies by a few frames. So you can't necessarily tell. So you just kind of have to go for it, which is what I do here. But then I hear a sound that tells me Peter didn't despawn. So now, I've already missed that, so I have to get rid of my lives here. Not a ton of time, but it certainly hurts. So I'm getting rid of these lives here, so I can get the continue, and then I can try the despawn trick again. Try to get that perfect frame. 1 out of a 60th of a second. And that should be it right there, I think. Yeah. Alright, so now I can just run through this level, and I don't have to worry about whipping Peter through the entire thing, I know that he's safe and sound out of the video RAM. Well, that was bad. Alright, here we go. Just running through this. So, on normal difficulty, and obviously on practice difficulty, you don't have to stop at all for those meteor showers there. But in difficult, it seems at this point that you do have to find some workaround there. So it's getting past those UFOs. That would have been great. More meteor showers. There is a variation of for Pete's sake, that you can use. If you can't get the despawn, there is a way to speed it up a little bit. With those meteor showers, if you're trying to do like a glitchless run where you can't do the despawn or something like that, I'm hoping to do a difficult run on this. You know, the game's already hard, but I mean like the actual difficulty named difficult, where it's glitchless. And so in order to do that, I can't do the despawn, right? So in that case, what I can do to stop the meteor showers is you actually just let Peter Puppy fall into one of those gaps, you know? And that immediately stops the meteor shower. So he turns into the kind of mutant Peter Puppy, and then pulls you back. But as long as you don't mess up the checkpoints, it saves a little bit of time without having to deal with all the damage from the meteor showers in difficult. Because they hurt so much more in difficult that you would just lose a life instead. So that's lame right there. I'm like one step away from the end of the level with UFOs. Anyway. Alright, back to meatballs in space.
Look, they're meatballs.
What a wacky game. I love this game. Alright, watch out, Psycrow. There we go. Getting the shield. Alright. So it's okay if you get a few bubbles. I mean, it's no big deal. You don't want to like risk anything to miss bubbles, but you don't want to get so many bubbles that that you end up getting that continue thing at the end. Like grabbing the bubble doesn't slow you down. You just want to not have the continue at the end. But I'm grabbing those little shields still, just in case I mess something up. You know, because the shields don't slow you down either, but they're useful just to keep your heart rate down. There's so much variety to the music in this game. It's just wonderful. Maybe that's one of the reasons I got so much into music. I tell you, like, my parents used to say that I only play the game because I like moving around to the music. Because I used to just move around so much when I would play this when I was little. When I would play this game. Alright, so this level, if you're only used to certain versions of Earthworm Jim, you've probably never even seen this level. Well, kind of like Big Brody as well, and some of the extended sections and the others. But so this level is called Intestinal Distress, and I've read before that this level was made in 24 hours with like some extra assets the Shiny Entertainment team had. Shout outs to those heroes. Some extra assets that team had in order to make an extra level for Sega, because Sega wanted an exclusive level in their version of the game. So Super Nintendo version does not have Intestinal Distress, and when I word it like that, that could be a good or a bad thing. But, oh man, there we go. So just running through boards here. Okay. A little percent here. And I have those 4 big plasma blasts, so I can end the fight like this. And that's it. Some people do some whip stuff there, but it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't save much time. So we've got Anti-Asteroids there. Again, this is the last one before we get to that last level. And it's a blast. I hope you guys play Signal to Noise. Still doing some new versions, like we're still doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. Should have gotten that boost over there, but it's alright. You guys just gotta step up your game. Alright. Awesome music. Just awesome. One of my teammates at Solanimus, when I was first showing him Earthworm Jim, everybody's got an Earthworm Jim, you know. And we're playing Anti-Asteroids. He's like, "Is that you on the violin?" Like, no, no. All right, here you go, Buttville, the last level. So this section is there's literally no floor, so I just fall straight down to save a little bit extra time. But other than that part I got a little bit more damage than I would really like. So it makes a section here pretty soon here very, very close. So I'm gathering up some big plasmas here, big plasma blasts, and then I do this little damage skip on the spikes here. So I lose a lot of health here, as you can see. This saves a lot of time. 22, so not too bad now. Running through here. Go up this little whip tower. What a just crazy looking level, man. Beautiful game. Alright. So these guys, you jump onto there when they come out, you just die. So gotta be a little bit careful here. A little bit. You don't want to waste time either. So whip across there. Many people have missed that whip and just died. So as you go down again to where there's no floor, so skipping through these spikes, so I don't have to go with those guys. And here we go. So this is Queen Slug for a butt. The final boss of the game. Here we go. This is the last fight. Use all those plasmas I gathered from before. Finish off with that whip. There you go. That's Earthworm Jim Special Edition. So yeah, that was the game that started it all for me, man, and my brother Mitchell. Hope you guys enjoyed. They're just finishing up the story here. This Princess What's Her Name, which is actually her name, if you didn't know that. Well, read the graphic novels and you'll learn a little bit more too, the newer graphic novels. But Douglas Apple. Oh, poor Jim. There's that cow. That's that cow from earlier in the game that we launched with the fridge in the first level. Man. Just the deepest thanks to everybody in these credits here. Just awesome. Just awesome. That's the thing with these games. Like, I don't think, I mean, to some extent, because there's culture around games and everything now and everything, but I think to some extent developers don't realize what impact these games have on people. I tell you what, Earthworm Jim has just had profound impact on my life. Profound. I hope my games can be like that for people too. What a wacky game. There's Mitchell. One picture with us. Just enjoy the game. So there you go, Earthworm Jim Special Edition, sub 31 minutes. And he steals the crap.